Welcome back to the shop, everyone. This week's video takes place in 2025 week 6, February 3rd through February 9th, and we are just continuing work on the passenger exhaust. So far, we're coming off of that muffler, turning kind of right to the, turning left, going over to the frame, and then going more vertical. This is in contrast to the other side where I was kind of just angled up off of the muffler into that area. So this is taking a little bit more pipe on the other side, but it's giving me more clearance around the strut tower, or the diff brace, not the strut tower brace, the diff brace. And so right now I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to come over top of the diff. I've got I think it's a 90 degree, I think I've got 6 pieces there cut. And what I'm going to do is weld those all together and we'll kind of figure it out from there. So because I've learned from my past mistakes, what I'm doing is I'm taking that longer chunk, I'm taping that onto the pie cuts, and then I'm going to back purge from there. Because if I just tried to back purge right into that 90 degree section, I would melt the I would end up melting the back purge cap because it's just plastic. So add this piece, I'll back purge, and I'll just cut the tacks off after. right, with everything kind of cooled down, we can come under the car. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this V-band. And yeah, I think I'm just going to put the V-band right on this 90. So I go any further down, the angle to get at the bolt's probably going to be kind of crappy. I think I can probably just sneak a extension up from the bottom. I was just kind of pointing that out there. So I think I'm just going to tack this V-band on and just make sure that is going to do what I want it to do. So I did forget to turn the camera on, but I tacked those three pieces on. I tacked the V-band on, and then I tacked the other V-band onto the 90. So now I'm just kind of getting this lined up, and I'm just trying to see if this is going to work. Can I snake a piece through the suspension like I need it to? And the answer is yes, I can. It's going to work. It's going to do what I need it to do. And if I have to, I can always twist it down and come down like 90 over more and then kind of flip it back up. We'll see. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to do it yet. I'm waiting until I get more pipe. But what I do know is I do know where that 90 and V-band flange is going to mount, so I'm going to weld that on. I'll weld that flange all together, and then we will carry on after that. All right, so as I mentioned, I am out of stainless, so I'm just going to leave that for now. And I do have fuel lines that I can build. So I need to come out of the cell into my fuel pump, and then out of the fuel pump up to my other filter, and then out of the other filter all the way up to the front of the car. So what I'm going to do is all of my old lines, I'm just going to undo all of the fittings, undo all of the lines, because none of them are going to fit anymore. So I might as well just take this apart and get ready to build up all my new lines. All right, so at this point, I've got kind of the fuel lines disconnected. I'm trying to see exactly what I need, and I've realized I don't have all of the fittings that I need, and that really sucks. But, you know, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it, because without all the fittings, well, I can't put it all together. So what I'm doing is, this is now just a planning session, effectively. I'm just going through, I'm planning all the fittings that I need, and I've also decided I'm going to switch over to PTFE line. So this is just rubber line. So the rubber line has nylon on the outside, and then woven into the rubber is some stainless steel. Well, the PTFE line has like a plastic inner liner. So the PTFE line is smaller, and it's also more resistant to ethanol based fuels and stuff like that. All of our fuel now has ethanol in it, so I'm just kind of future proofing this and making it so that hopefully my fuel lines last a longer time than just the rubber lines would. Still going to be all black lines, still going to be black fittings, so aesthetically it's going to look similar, just the lines I believe are much smaller. But yeah, so I left this in because going through and planning this out and writing down all the fittings that I need, this is part of building the car. And, you know, I do some of this stuff off camera, especially when I'm at my computer and, you know, I'm ordering the parts. But planning it out, I'm just under the car. I'm looking at all the fittings that I have, all of the parts that need to fit together and how they're going to fit together. So yeah, that's why I left this in. Alrighty, since I can't actually do any fuel lines until I get all those new lines and fittings, the next thing that I had started working on is the sunroof. So previously this was just riveted on the top with some seam sealer. I kind of put it back on. I took some spray paint along the bottom and I kind of marked out where the hole is and where I'm going to need this to fit into. So I'm just I'm rushing this. I'm not taking my time. I'm not making sure that my cuts are the correct distance that I need them to be. So I'm really rushing this stupidly. But the idea is I'm going to cut this down and then I'm going to use a tool that I have that makes a little ridge in the sheet metal. And then it should, in theory, come from the bottom up. I can weld it all in. And then I'll have a nice roof. I'll do a bunch of welds, grind it down, make it flat and smooth. Hopefully it's just all nice and level and it just works. That's the goal, is to make it nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like if there's some ripples or you can tell that there's a patch, I'm okay with it. It's not a show car, it's a street car. And you know, this is a learning experience for me. I'm not a body man. I'm not great at metal work. But you know, as long as it looks good enough and I can use a little bit of body filler. I don't want to put a pound of body filler on there, but a little bit's not going to hurt nothing. So yeah, so I'm just bandsawing the outer edge and then I'm going to flange it and then I'm going to try and get it up in the car. So after all that prep work, you know, I'm going through, I'm throwing some tacks in, and then at the end of this, I step back and I look at it and I go, this is crap. So you can see right under my hand, the roof is kind of bubbled up. It's kind of bubbled up in this right far corner. Nothing's really sitting flush like I wanted to and expect it to. There's just nothing right about this. So I make the decision to not just keep blindly pushing ahead with this. It's fucking stupid to do that. So I'm gonna have to figure out a new plan, because yeah, this just looks like crap, and as much as I don't need it to be perfect, I want it to not be garbage. So unfortunately, the fact that I can't continue on my exhaust, the fact I can't continue on the fuel lines, this is now on hold until I figure something else out for that. That is all the time that we have for this video. So as always, if you stuck around this long, I'd like to thank you for viewing, and we'll see you in the next one.